In the shimmering glow of Hollywood, where fame sparkles brighter than the stars themselves, the biggest secrets often hide in plain sight. Behind the flashing cameras, dazzling red carpets, and million-dollar smiles, some of the most beloved Black icons carried truths the world was never meant to see until now. These were the pioneers, the quiet warriors, the history makers who lived authentically in a world that demanded illusion. Today, we lift the veil on 10 Black celebrities whose private lives reveal stories so deep, they'll forever change the way you see them. Niecy Nash. Carol Denise Betts, better known as Niecy Nash, was born on February 23, 1970, in Palmdale, California. For years, she lit up television screens with her sharp humor and undeniable charm, earning her place as a comedic powerhouse. From her breakout on Reno 911, where her quick wit and unforgettable characters became instant classics, to Clean House and When They See Us, Niecy proved she could master both comedy and drama with equal brilliance. But the woman the world thought they knew was only half the story. Behind the laughter was a journey still unfolding, a journey of truth, courage, and self-discovery. In 2020, that journey took center stage when Niecy introduced the world to singer Jessica Betts, the woman she would proudly marry. The news stunned fans who had only known her through her past marriages to men. Yet there was no spectacle, no grand announcement, just pure authenticity. Niecy's joy radiated through every word, every photo, every smile. Her love story wasn't about defiance. It was about freedom, about choosing happiness without apology. In interviews, Niecy described meeting Jessica as coming home. That honesty, that ease, struck a chord across generations. She became a quiet revolution, an inspiration to Black women everywhere, proving it's never too late to live in your truth. Off-screen, her creativity evolved alongside her spirit. Niecy began producing projects that uplifted marginalized voices, championing stories rich with the beauty, pain, and triumph of the Black experience. She showed up at Pride events, spoke on panels, and opened doors for conversations about identity, reinvention, and love beyond expectation. Niecy Nash's transformation is powerful not because it happened early in her fame, but because it bloomed after success. She didn't chase attention, she invited understanding. With grace and fearless honesty, she reminded the world that identity isn't static, it grows as we do. Today, Niecy stands as more than an actress or producer. She's a beacon. Her story transcends Hollywood, shining as a testament that love, authenticity, and reinvention have no expiration date. Tyler, the creator, the rebel who redefined freedom. Tyler Gregory Okonma, better known to the world as Tyler, the Creator, isn't just a rapper. He's a force of nature, a cultural disruptor who tore up the old rulebook and rebuilt hip-hop in his own image. Born on March 6, 1991, in Ladera Heights, California, Tyler exploded onto the scene as the mastermind behind Odd Future, OFWGKT, the wild, no-rules collective that shook the foundations of modern rap. Their sound was raw, their lyrics reckless, their energy electric. And at the center of it all was Tyler, fearless and unpredictable, turning chaos into art. But behind the provocation and shock value was something far deeper. A young artist searching for identity in a world that demanded conformity. As his music evolved, so did his honesty. Then came Flower Boy in 2017, vulnerable, poetic, and groundbreaking. When he rapped, "I've been kissing white boys since 2004. It was more than a lyric. It was a declaration, a quiet rebellion against hip-hop's long-standing hypermasculinity. Tyler didn't come out with press releases or speeches. He just told the truth his way. He's never cared for labels. When asked to define himself, he simply shrugged, "Why label myself?" To Tyler, fluidity isn't rebellion, it's reality. And in a genre still wrestling with homophobia, that honesty was revolutionary. His 2019 Grammy-winning masterpiece, Igor, a lush, emotional journey through heartbreak and self-discovery, was widely read as the story of love between men. Yet Tyler refused to confirm or deny, leaving the art to speak for itself. That silence was powerful. It made space for interpretation, for freedom, for everyone who didn't fit neatly into a box. Beyond music, Tyler built an empire out of pure imagination. His fashion label Golf Wong, his festival camp Flog Gnaw, his work in animation, directing, and design all radiate his singular vision. Bright colors, androgynous flair, chaotic beauty. It's a world where being yourself isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. What makes Tyler's impact so profound is that he never set out to be a symbol. He became one simply by existing. Awkward, hilarious, brilliant, and completely unbothered by society's expectations. For countless young fans who see themselves in him, Tyler isn't just an artist. He's proof that freedom isn't found in fitting in. It's found in creating your own lane. In the ever-shifting conversation about identity and art, Tyler, the creator, stands as a modern icon, not defined by labels, but by limitless authenticity. Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah, the crown that never slipped. Born Dana Elaine Owens on March 18, 1970, in Newark, New Jersey, Queen Latifah didn't just step into the spotlight. She claimed it. From a moment her debut album, All Hail the Queen, dropped in 1989, she broke barriers and rewrote the rules of hip-hop. In a genre dominated by men, Latifah stood tall, fierce, and unapologetically herself. Her music wasn't just rhythm and rhyme. It was rebellion wrapped in empowerment. Songs like UNITY reminded the world that respect wasn't optional. But behind the commanding voice and royal stage presence was a woman who learned early that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it simply refuses to explain. While her fame soared, her private life remained carefully guarded, especially when it came to her sexuality. Unlike many in the public eye, Latifah never felt compelled to issue a declaration. "I don't owe the world an explanation for my private life," she once said, a statement that became its own kind of anthem. That quiet defiance turned her into one of the most intriguing figures in LGBTQ+ culture, a woman whose power came not from headlines, but from the peace she carried in silence. For years, rumors swirled, linking her romantically to women, most notably choreographer Ebony Nichols. The two have been spotted together since 2013, and in 2021, while accepting her BET Lifetime Achievement Award, Latifah ended her speech with a rare and heartfelt, "My love, happy pride." It was subtle, tender, yet for many, it was her loudest truth. As an actress, Latifah has done what few could, defied typecasting with every role she touched. Her Oscar-nominated performance in Chicago, 2002, showed her range. Set It Off revealed her grit. Last Holiday displayed her warmth. And in Bessie, her portrayal of blues icon Bessie Smith, a woman who also lived boldly beyond society's expectations, felt like destiny fulfilled. Off-screen, Queen Latifah's power only deepened. Through her production company, Flavor Unit, she's built a legacy rooted in representation, producing films and shows that uplift underrepresented voices and tell the stories Hollywood too often overlooks. For Latifah, coming out was never the point. Living honestly was. Her choice to remain private is not an act of secrecy, but sovereignty, a reminder that liberation wears many faces. She's taught the world that you don't have to announce your truth for it to be real. Sometimes, just living it is revolutionary enough. Queen Latifah stands as proof that authenticity doesn't always need a microphone. Her life, her art, her impact speaks louder than any label ever could. In a world obsessed with defining people, she reminds us, real queens don't explain. They simply reign. Frank Ocean, the whisper that changed music forever. Frank Ocean, born October 28, 1987, in Long Beach, California, a mystery wrapped in melody. Raised among the rhythm and soul of New Orleans, he began not in the spotlight, but behind it, quietly writing hits for stars like Beyoncé, Justin Bieber, and Brandy. But in 2011, the world finally heard his own voice. a haunting, soulful sound that felt like reading someone's most private journal. Nostalgia. Ultra wasn't just a mixtape, it was a revelation. Then came the moment that would redefine not just his career, but the entire culture of R&B. In July 2012, just days before releasing his groundbreaking album Channel Orange, Frank posted a letter on Tumblr. A simple confession about his first love, who happened to be a man. No press release, no spectacle, just raw honesty. In a world where black male artists were rarely open about their sexuality, his words broke barriers with quiet courage. Instead of silencing him, the world listened closer. Channel Orange debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, earned him a Grammy, and transformed him from songwriter into a symbol of authenticity. But Frank never let fame define him. He didn't parade his truth, he lived it. He avoided labels, skipped interviews, and let his music speak where words failed. When Blonde finally arrived in 2016, it wasn't an album, it was a masterpiece of emotion. Songs like Self-Control and Godspeed felt like memories caught between heartbreak and healing, bending gender, time, and sound into something purely human. Frank Ocean didn't follow the rules. He rewrote them. No release schedules. No industry games. Just art that breathed. His quiet rebellion opened the door for a new generation of queer black artists. Lil Nas X, Steve Lacy, Kehlani, to stand in their truth, unafraid. And yet, Frank remains a ghost in plain sight. Rarely seen, seldom heard. No interviews, no appearances, just whispers of genius that ripple through music, fashion, and culture. In a world addicted to noise, Frank Ocean proved that silence, when honest, can shake the world. He didn't need to shout his truth. He sang it, and in that whisper, an entire generation finally heard itself. Lena Waithe. Lena Waithe, breaking the frame. Lena Diane Waithe, born May 17, 1984, in Chicago, Illinois, has spent her entire career redefining who gets to tell black stories, and how those stories are told. From her early days crafting sharp, fearless comedy to becoming a creative force behind some of television's most groundbreaking work, Waithe has never been afraid to challenge an industry that too often silences the voices of the marginalized. Her moment came with the Thanksgiving episode of Master of None, a story drawn straight from her own life. That episode didn't just win her an Emmy in 2017, making her the first black woman to win for outstanding writing in a comedy series. It made history. Because in it, Lena didn't just write a coming-out story. She lived it. Recreating the day she told her mother she was gay. It was raw, intimate, and revolutionary. For the first time, a queer black woman's truth stood unapologetically at the center of mainstream television. After that triumph, Waithe went home, to Chicago's South Side, to create the Chi. Instead of falling into tired tropes of poverty or pain, she built a living, breathing world full of love, community, and identity. In her universe, queerness isn't a headline, it's human. It's quiet, natural, and real. That authenticity became her trademark. Her creative reach expanded with projects like 20s and Queen and Slim, each one examining race, gender, and sexuality with a balance of boldness and grace. Through her production company, Hillman Grad, Waithe made it her mission to amplify underrepresented voices, to ensure that LGBTQ plus black stories weren't treated as side notes, but as vital parts of the American story. When she speaks, whether at colleges or film festivals, Lena refuses to see her presence as tokenism. Having a platform, she says, means making room for others. She's less interested in fame than in legacy, mentoring new writers, directors, and performers whose stories might otherwise go unheard. Off-screen, her commitment runs just as deep. Waithe actively supports LGBTQ plus youth in black communities, creating safe spaces and visibility for kids who might feel invisible. Her activism isn't loud or performative, it's structural. She builds systems where inclusion isn't an afterthought, it's the foundation. In a world obsessed with viral moments and headlines, Lena Waithe stands apart. Her truth doesn't shout, it resonates. From her Emmy-winning debut to her ever-growing body of work, she's not just creating television. She's building a future, one where Black queer lives are ordinary, beautiful, and fully seen. Lena Waithe isn't just a storyteller. She's a world builder, crafting spaces where authenticity itself is the revolution. Lil Nas X, the rebel who rode the internet to freedom. Montero Lamar Hill, better known as Lil Nas X, was born on April 9, 1999, in Lithia Springs, Georgia. Long before the Grammys and the red carpets, he was just a clever teenager with a phone, a laptop, and a knack for breaking the internet. His memes and viral tweets were his playground, and eventually, his ticket to superstardom. In 2019, he dropped Old Town Road, a strange but irresistible blend of country twang and hip-hop swagger. The song started as a self-release, blew up on TikTok, and then exploded across the world. Critics dismissed him as a one-hit wonder, but Lil Nas X had other plans. Old Town Road didn't just hit number one. It stayed there for 19 straight weeks, shattering records and reshaping pop music forever. Then, right at the peak of his fame, during Pride Month, he tweeted, "Some of y'all already know, some of y'all don't care, some of y'all not gonna F*** with me no more." Just like that, he came out as gay. No PR rollout, no magazine cover, just truth. That single tweet changed everything, turning a viral star into a cultural icon. In 2021, he dropped Montero, a bold, unapologetically queer debut album that fused heartbreak, lust, faith, and rebellion, all through the lens of a young Black gay man daring to be seen. The visuals were just as daring. Call Me By Your Name featured biblical imagery, a pole dance into hell, and that infamous lap dance for Satan. The internet lost its mind. Conservatives raged. But for queer youth of color, it was liberation. Proof that you could be both holy and wild, provocative and proud. On stage, he doubled down, turning performances at the BET Awards and Grammys into electric celebrations of freedom, queerness, and self-love. Behind all the glitter and fire, though, was a man who once hid in fear. Lil Nas X grew up closeted, religious, and terrified of rejection. Now, he's using his fame to show others they never have to choose between who they are and who they dream to be. Beyond music, he's a fashion disruptor, strutting red carpets in gender-fluid couture, owning his narrative, and turning every backlash into another viral win. Every move he makes reminds the world, you can't box in someone who's learned to thrive outside of them. Lil Nas X isn't just an artist. He's a movement, a symbol of fearless authenticity in an industry built on conformity. His story is still unfolding, but one thing's for sure, he's not just breaking records. He's breaking barriers, rewriting what it means to be free, and dancing unapologetically in his own truth. Keenan Lonsdale. Keenan Lonsdale, living out loud. Keenan Lonsdale was born on December 19, 1991, in Sydney, Australia, a city that would one day feel far too small for his boundless vision. He first stepped into the spotlight as a dancer on Dance Academy, where his energy lit up every frame. But it didn't take long for him to leap from the dance floor to global fame, captivating millions as Wally West, aka Kid Flash, on The Flash, and later stealing hearts as Bram in the 2018 hit film Love, Simon. On screen, his presence was magnetic. Off-screen, it was his fearless authenticity that made him unforgettable. Keenan is proudly identified as queer and pansexual, embracing fluidity not as a label, but as a language of freedom. As a Black queer Australian navigating multiple worlds, he's given voice to those who live at the intersections of race, sexuality, and identity, people who rarely see themselves represented with truth and tenderness. In Love, Simon, his portrayal of Bram offered Hollywood something it had almost never seen before, an authentically queer Black male love interest in a mainstream teen romance. His quiet strength, vulnerability, and warmth turned a simple character into a symbol of hope. It wasn't loud. It was revolutionary. Beyond acting, Keenan has built a thriving music career, blending pop, R&B, and electronic sounds into a personal manifesto of love, liberation, and self-acceptance. Each lyric feels like a diary entry, a reflection of the same raw honesty he brings to his roles. In interviews, he speaks openly about mental health, identity, and learning to love the parts of himself that once felt too complicated for the world to understand. His fashion, bold, fluid, and unapologetic, isn't for attention. It's a declaration, a statement that beauty has no gender and confidence has no boundaries. Whether he's speaking out for LGBTQ plus visibility or championing racial equality, Keenan leads with compassion, turning every platform he touches into a place of healing and self-expression. What makes his story so powerful is its truth. Keenan isn't trying to be a hero. He's simply living his truth in a world that still struggles to embrace difference. His impact isn't about noise or fame. It's about courage, consistency, and heart. Whether on stage, on screen, or behind the mic, Keenan Lonsdale is redefining what visibility looks like. His story is still being written, but it already matters. In an industry obsessed with image, he reminds us that the boldest act of greatness is simply living unapologetically. So here's the question. In Hollywood, what does authenticity really cost? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more inspiring stories like this.